competitor keywords. Should you bid on your competitor's business name on Google Ads? Man, what a good question. So here's three things I want you to think through. Number one is the method through which you're going to be doing this legal? Number two is, does your sales system accommodate the cold leads that come in from competitor campaigns? And number three is, I want you to think through your niche of business to determine whether or not this is going to work or whether this is just going to be a waste of money for you. Okay, so first things first is, how do you make this legal? Well, some keywords on Google are trademarked, so you can't bid on them. So for example, if you're like a window contractor and you want to bid on the word Pella, I believe that's trademarked. If you are a car accident lawyer and you want Uber cases, people who get into car accidents while in an Uber, then you have to understand that the term Uber is trademarked and you cannot bid on the keyword Uber crash lawyer or Uber accident lawyer. You can't bid on that. Okay, so first things first is the keyword of your competitor or of the company that you want to bid on, is it trademarked? Okay, the next step is, if it's not trademarked, for most local businesses, your competitors are not going to have trademarked business names, right? So then the question becomes, how can you create your ads in a way where you are 100% legal? And the big takeaway there that we've learned is, do not try to claim as though you are your competitor, okay? So don't put in your ad something misleading, like if you bid on Joe Schmo's roofing, don't put in your ad, looking for Joe Schmo's roofing, ? Call now. Because that's kind of misleading, because people are gonna think that you are Joe Schmo's roofing. What we suggest doing is just put your business name in the ad, clearly show you're a different business, and then in the second portion of the ad, just list the benefit that you offer. That you know, this is important, a benefit that you know your competitor you're bidding on doesn't have. So for example, if your competitor is much higher priced than you or much lower quality than you, just emphasize that you're higher quality or lower price or whatever. That way, when people encounter your competitor by talking to them, or maybe they've already talked to them, they can now look at your offer and be actually interested in what you provide as a company, versus it being a cold interaction where, you know, the worst thing is when people call you and say, hey, is this Joe Schmo's roofing? And you're like, no, it's Bob's roofing. And then they just hang up and go, oh, wrong number. You don't want that to happen. That's a waste of money. Okay, which ties into my next point, which is your sales system. If you are not confident in your ability to take someone who is, you know, interested in your competitor and turn them into a interested prospect for you, don't bid on competitor keywords. Don't expect these leads to be layups, right? I mean, they are clearly searching for your competitor. So you need to have a sales system in place where, for example, if they call and say, and because you're inevitably going to get calls, because people don't always pay attention to what's on a Google ad, you're going to get calls that say, hey, is this Joe Schmo's roofing? Instead of going, no, we're Bob's roofing, and then they hang up and say wrong number, you know, something along the lines of, this worked well, going, yeah, we are a roofing company and we regularly compete with competitor X because of X, Y, and Z benefit we offer that's different than them. Would you like us to look at your current situation and give you a quote from us, or give you a different set of eyeballs on this to see if you're getting the best possible solution from competitor X? That's a much more consultative way to treat a lead that comes in from bidding on your competitor's keywords. The last thing I want you to think through is your niche. There are some niches where this is not going to work, right? If someone is, going on Google and typing in, well, let me think of the opposite. Something that does work is where there's tons of competition. So for example, one thing that's worked really well is loans, right? So if you offer loans, everyone's just looking for like the best rate, someone to approve them, So an important thing to think through there is your niche going to be open to other quotes? Based on how competitive the industry is. There's so many industries where it's not even worth doing it for. For example, if someone types in something like, Amazon, Amazon.com, that would be stupid to bid on, right? Because they're clearly just expressing that they want to go to Amazon.com, right? But if someone is saying, loan company X rates or something like that, then they're obviously still interested in rates, meaning that they're not happy with the rate that they've been offered and they're doing more research on rates, perhaps. So just be creative with how you go after competitor demand. And a lot of times competitor keywords are cheap, so you can test this out and see if it works and turn it off if it doesn't. And if you're fed up with people calling you, not looking for your business, and you can't convert them into actual leads, then stop doing it, and just be open-minded to testing this out, because most times when we test it out, it works really well. It's really inexpensive, and you can get some really nice business from it. So I hope that was helpful. You need to think through whether or not bidding on competitor keywords is right for your business. If you want us to give you a free Google Ads quote, SEO quote, website design quote, go to smbteam.com and submit your information, and I'd love to get on a call with you. Thanks.